I'm fired.
Um, right. Fermi and Red, you guys here? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Let's get started. I'm gonna be streaming this so that Meep can get this stuff as well. Right. Let me share my screen.
Do you want me to just OBS it?
Uh,
And
I'm
I
streaming
can
it
do it.
directly.
Okay.
I'm sharing my screen here, so we're gonna first start off by understanding the parts of the fights. We should know most of the stuff. Um, but a lot of this stuff, from the scrims that I've seen, is missing these parts. A lot of it's just like kind of feels brain dead because we're missing these things that I think should be beaten into your brain until it's secondhand nature to run these things. Um, you guys can actually follow along if you want. I'm leaking stuff. Awkward. Okay. We're on the coaching topics thing if you want to follow along. Are we ready to start? Cool.
Yeah.
Right, so fight status. There's first fight, then there's pre-fight, there's a mid-fight, and then there's post-fight. You guys probably heard this stuff before. I don't care, we're gonna go over it anyways. Right, first coming out of the gate, know your role, know what the hell you're doing. What's the point? Where are you gonna go? Right? Make sense?
Yep.
If I lose you guys, just speak up. I'm gonna go kind of fast because we're gonna understand practical applications once Peck actually goes over what the fuck we're doing. Right, pre-fight, before every single fight, right after you come out of the gate, actually before you even come out of the gates. What do they have? You might not know first fight, that's fine. Win condition, what's your win condition? First fight, you probably won't have one. You're probably gonna have a plan to go for first, stage, then dive, something like that. Figure out what your win condition is. Is it abilities? Is it ultimates? Do you need to do something before that win condition is ready? Make sure that you call this out and make sure that the thing to happen, your advantage, make sure that's being called so that you guys know when to engage. Make sure that when you plan your win condition that you have your follow-up damage, and then you should have a backup damage in case your follow-up damage just doesn't do it. Right? If you don't have no win condition, maybe it's a dry fight, maybe it's just a spam fight. Figure it out. That's the whole point of pre-fight planning. Um, when you are thinking about your win condition, you should think about what do they have to counter it. Maybe you should change your win condition based on what they have to counter it. Let's say you have a grab and they have a trans. Maybe you use your something else first, or at least force out trans first. You know what I mean? Um, and then so maybe you can force out their counters early, or maybe not. If you can't, tough shit. Try to do something else, or just run it anyways and hope for the best, which is not the best idea. Um, right. So once you figure out your win condition, you should figure out staging. You're going to be offensive or defense. Do you have the point? Do you not have the point? Do you need to scout where the enemy team is holding, or do you need to scout where the enemy team is coming in from? Call where they're going, call where they're sitting, call where the high target priority is. Um, the high target priority is things like dive targets or things like a diva that can counter your entire ult or your entire win condition. They might need to die first, so calling them is kind of important. And if you don't see six, call that out. Make sure, like, if you see like five people standing around and you see one guy's missing, like, where the fuck's the Reinhardt, right? He's probably on the flank. So calling out like, oh, I see five, tells your team, okay, there's five people there. There's possibly a flank of somewhere. So when you're staging for defensive, right? Where's the kill box? Where are you guys gonna take the fight? Where's your front line gonna sit and stage for the kill box? Where's your back line gonna sit and stage for the kill box? Then you need to think about where will they be coming in from, right? Where they're gonna be coming in from based on your kill box. If they don't come into your kill box, maybe you had a shit kill box. You have to figure that out. That's a dynamic call that's gonna happen in the middle of the fight. When you're on offense, or when you need to be on offense, figure out where they're going to want to take the next fight. Figure out how to not die there. Figure out where they're set up. Figure out how to not die there. That's pathing. Am I missing anything on staging there? Anybody?
Can you re-say pathing? What is your definition of pathing?
Pathing, where you're gonna go, how you are going to take this fight. Where was that? So you see this, right? If they're sitting on high ground, Actually, that's probably a bad map for it. Yeah, here we go. You guys are coming out of spawn, right? You're coming out of spawn here. That's the 3 lanes, right? And the enemy team is just sitting. Either are they sitting on point, are they sitting closer, or are they sitting above you, right? If they're sitting above you here, maybe you don't go directly underneath them, right? Maybe if they're sitting out here, maybe you want to think about maybe we go up there, maybe we go up top here, maybe we go around this side, take the short fight first. Make sense? That's pathing. Which lane you go in, how you approach the fight. Does that answer the question?
Yes.
Cool. Right, mid fight. You know the plan. You know how you guys are gonna get in. You guys know what you want to do. You have your win condition. What you want to be calling for. Your advantages. Do you have a player advantage? Do you have an ult advantage? Do you have an enemy on the move? Do you have a cooldown advantage? All these things should be called. And especially when they are like the thing to engage on. Let's say you have no ultimates, so you're pretty much just dry fighting. If you get a pick, that's a man advantage. That's something to push on. Target calls, right? Target calls. Target calls. Target calls. That's all I have to say about that. Yeah, you want to call enemy ability usage, the fight status. If you die, ask if it's winnable or losable, so that the people there, like say you died, so that other people there know who died and how important that is. Like let's say you lose your main tank early, get the fuck out. Most likely. But you're at the elo where you might be able to commit to a 5v6 and actually win, but we are not going to plan against that. We are going to just plan like we're playing 4.5 scrims. I know we're not. I don't care that we're not, but we are going to plan like that. And once we once we get a hang of what the fuck we're actually supposed to be doing, we can say if a 3v5 is actually winnable. And then if the fight's lost, call for stall if it's a reset. Post-fight. Once you know that you guys have already won the fight, let's say 3 of them are dead and they're just running away. That's a one fight 100%. Somebody asks ult status. The ult tracker is going to start thinking of what did they use, what do we have, how are we going to plan this fight. Staggers, we're not going to worry about staggers because scrims for now. We can work with that later if we're actually dog shit in it. I doubt it though. It's pretty simple. Ult tracking, right? So ult tracking, and then it merges right back into the pre-fight. Once you figure out what ults they use, once ults you guys have, you go right to pre-fights. Now, what's your win condition? And it just repeats until the game ends. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can everybody recite this by heart now?
I mean, obviously.
I would
Not-
like you
not
to
by
spend
heart.
this today.
Probably in figure.
Okay.
You play to win the game.
Yes. This is how you win the game.
It starts on the spreadsheet.
Yes, it does.
Be the game. Lick the game.
Any questions about any of this stuff?
Would you be able to email this to us or something?
You guys have this. This is on the master document.
God, I'm just dumb. Okay.
Yeah, and this also has this other crap above it. This is stuff that we are eventually going to be learning together. But don't worry about that now.
I found it.
Yes, nice. Also, if you guys haven't seen, we have a player goals and notes thing. This is where if you have VOD review notes, we're gonna be posting. I'm gonna be trying to post them here. And like if you want to find your name, just like here, you just click your name, and then just make sure that you reset it when you're done, so that other people can use it easily. Easy peasy. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
This is just a way that where all the coaches can see what the last thing has been worked on with you, and where you can easily keep track of what you need to work on, and for specific heroes, and maybe you want to learn about, oh, you're a tank. This information might also help you.
Are we gonna be adding my tracer stuff to it as well, or is that only for like
We
VOD
can if
reviews?
you want. Yeah, no, this is not personal. This is personal, but it's not like private. So yeah, anything you want to put to improve on, or just VOD review, just put them here. But try to keep this turn your criticism into learning objectives. If you feed, turn it into, instead of feeding, ensure that your team is with you and ready to go into the fight. Does that make sense on how to convert criticism into a learning objective?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem usually comes before, like 10 steps before you realize. You know, that's a big thing. Just keep an eye out for that. You know, like if you're in the middle of a fight, saying, "Oh, we lost this because something in the middle of a fight." No, it's probably happened because you guys had shit staging. That's usually what the issue is. Okay, I think I'm done for now. Peck, you want to take over for how to actually play the game in this meta?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Next
Alright.
call.
Here went great.
Join my stream.
Yay, we gotta watch Astro.
Is this like
Um,
Owl
Yeah,
VOD?
that's all.
Yeah. 2 weekends ago. Yeah, 2 weekends ago, the Shock vs Philly game for the.
I think I saw this game
final.
live.
All right, so I'm literally going to be going down his list, telling you how all of that affects like the comp that is the meta comp. As you can see, winst-dva, Sombra-Reaper-Moira-lucio. So start with first fight, know your role, what is your purpose, blah blah blah. So pretty much for first fights, the main thing you want to focus on is 1, not committing, and 2, hard unless there's like a clear advantage, and building your coal. Building your support ults is like one of the biggest things in this fight, because when you play against a good team that has like a good Sombra, you can't allow her to outpace your Lucio. So for Lucio specifically, you don't want to just be like speed botting and just speeding your team around. If you're going to use amp, majority of the time it's going to be to amp heals.
Okay.
If you're playing against a comp that isn't mirror, you can amp speed if you're like hard engaging on something, but majority of the time is amp heals.
Sounds
And
good.
all the pathing and stuff for this comp, you just play it as if it's like, is a lot of people equate it to like goats. You kind of play it as if your Winston is a Ryan. You're playing corners, you're playing to allow your monkey to peek around hard cover. Slow. You're playing so that your monkey can stay in the fight as long as possible, and the only time he's ever going to use his jump is to get out of the fight if he's low. Okay, and there. What heroes they have? What? All right, so the main thing here is like I can see for like pathing, staging for this. Starting on the high ground here makes it like starting high ground for like maps like this where they have like chokes that are like you have to walk through for sure. Like there's no way they're gonna try and flank around here. There's no way they're gonna walk up the stairs. Shock literally has to push them off high ground, because if you try to walk underneath teams with this comp, they're just gonna drop on your head and you're going to lose. So like big thing with this is if you have like an easy high ground that you can sit on, like this high ground, Anubis, the little platform is like a decent one, etc., where the high ground is literally right smack after the choke. Team has to do something to get you away from that high ground. I'll just do the basics for this comp. I'm not gonna go down the list.
If
So
you
the
want to, just like go over all the ability usages,
yeah,
and then I can go through like planning out the fight through the fight stages if you want.
yeah. So the biggest thing with this comp is that it's a comp where Sombra isn't a flanker. Like you don't flank at all. It's you literally just brawl with your Sombra and allow her to just farm EMP as you're brawling. And for like the main ability use like that you want to be able to force out, one, if you can force a Sombra to leave with her translocator, that's a good start. That's an instant 5v6. Big ability you want to force out is you want to burn as much of Diva Matrix as possible, Reaper Wraith, or Moira Fade. Those are like big go buttons. Granted, it doesn't just mean all right, we go in and jump into fucking Hellfire.
That should also tell you guys those are abilities that if you don't have to use them, don't fucking use them.
Yeah. So if you're trying to force stuff out of people, you want to make sure you don't have to use those. So like you want to make sure your Reaper can stay in as long as possible without having to Wraith. You want to make sure your Sombra can stay as long as possible. You want to make sure your Moira can't get pressured. Started this fight. Cool. All right. All right. So the biggest thing here too is Reaper and Monkey are like tied to the hip. You guys are best friends. You play entirely together the entire time. There's no flanks from Reaper, no TPing into the back. There's none of that. The whole duel about this comp is between the Reaper, Monkey, and the Divas. That's all it is. Whoever has better cooldown usage with their Diva matrix, allowing the Reaper to stay in and for their Reaper to not get value, and whoever allows their Monkey to stay the longest and get the most value out of tasing. So like instantly, the main fight you see is just between those three. Sombra sitting in the back, kind of like off angling, just looking for hack targets, and main hack targets for Sombra are either the Reaper, the Diva, and sometimes the Monkey. But like the main focus for this comp is we want to either force their Reaper out as much as possible, force their Sombra out as much as possible, or we want to just make it so that we blow up their Winston. If you lose Winston in this comp, for neutrals, it's pretty much unwinnable. And that's why Smurf dies. Let me go back to where.
Take a look at how they're positioned. They're staging, the orange staging at the corner, right? And white has to commit altogether. So if they want to actually shoot the guys on point, because they need the cap point, right? So importance of staging of Reaper on the corner there, easily. He just doesn't get melted.
Yeah. And like that was their big thing. They sat on the high ground because they knew the shock had to force them out of that position, and then they default back to this spot because if they get hard pressured out, it's very easy for them to just come back down here. Very easy for them to reposition, and then in order for shock to even get near them, they have to peek that corner. So like the first thing here, you see Smurfs already getting chunked down.
Defense matrix is down there.
Choi had to use, I'm pretty sure Choi used like the majority of his matrix just to get Smurf to be able to fall here. And so they saw that, and then Ivy just hard focuses him. Another big cooldown for Monkey, besides his jump, you always want to save your bubble as much as possible. If you can force out their Monkey bubble first, that is another opportunity to hard pressure. The bubble just yeah, it's like the biggest. It's something that allows you to like play around. Your team can play around it. As you can see, like Hisu's back here behind the bubble, so they can't get him, and he's able to like play for hacks from there. See, as soon as Smurf falls, Shock has to back up. They pretty much have no front line here, and they just have to leave. All right, now, so like coming into this fight, we'll talk about like skipped over like post fight, blah blah blah. But for like pre-fight, so now Shock's coming into this fight. Their win condition from here is going to be either to coal aggressively if they think that Violet doesn't have the coal, or if they know he does, they want to try and take an aggressive push to force out their coal so they can coal second. Like the whole thing with coal is pretty much treated like Transcendence. Whoever uses it second usually gets the upper hand in the fight.
Because if they use it first, you just kind of back off and don't take the fight if you can.
And that's why they can easily just default to around this corner, because the only way the coal is going to even affect them is if they have wide swing this corner here. All right, next fight, you see Shock staging on that corner so they can walk in. Philly's automatically staging onto this corner. They force Hisu out. Granted, he's not far away, but he's technically not a problem anymore. They start to take space on point. All right, for this one, this is like one of those rare instances where your Monkey can take aggressive jump. You have a coal, you know you can hard pocket him if anything goes wrong. And one of the big focuses here is he's just trying to split off Ons because he knows that Ons plays like far back, and he's trying to make it so if Ons wants to get a hack, wants to get any type of value, he bubble him off. All right, forces Ons to use EMP here, and you see Sato just gets hard pocket on the way out. So like a big thing with like monkey jump is the only time you ever use it in an aggressive way is if one, you're taking a fight with like EMP and you know for a fact you can easily just get in, blow someone up, and get out. Two, if you have a support ult to back you up, or three, if you have your ultimate to back you up. That on. What did you say you wanted to go over about the abilities for it?
Pretty much a reason for each ability is for like, okay, monkey. He has bubble jump and ult, right?
Yes.
His bubble can be used to break off enemy support the Moira heals or force the Moira into closer positioning or further positioning, depending if it's a good bubble. Another, it can block Diva bombs. It can block Reaper ults. You know, it can do a bunch of things. Basically blocking damage or splitting off heals, right?
Okay, I can help with going down the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's for the bubble for monkey, he just said it all. For jump for monkey, biggest thing is a survivability tool. If you guys are getting hard pressured, you have a default position, like how Philly was usually playing around that corner. If you're getting hard pressured back, you jump back to that default position. Allow your healers to play with you and heal you up so that you can get back into the fight as quickly as possible. For his ultimate, the biggest thing that I've seen people use it for is just to either create a bunch of space, kind of zone people out, or to pick on one of the supports. You can isolate the Lucio or the Moira with your ultimate. That's allows your team to just be more aggressive because they have no way of getting away from your team because they don't have a Lucio speed, or they're down on their heels because they don't have Moira with them. But for the most part, if the Reaper ever turns around and looks at you as you're ulting, that's like your sign to, okay, I need to get out, go back to my team, just focus on keeping people away. Go to Diva. The biggest things for Diva are Matrix. Matrix is totally used to either keep your Reaper in, keep their Reaper out, and to keep your monkey in. You are pretty much like a hard defensive Diva for this. You pretty much play to enable and disable is not the right word, but you know what I mean. Enable your Reaper so that he can stay in long and force their monkey out or their Diva out, and you play to eat as much of their Reaper spam as you can so that your team can stay in longer. For go to a Diva.
Micro missile.
Yeah, micro missile for her. For the most part, it's for breaking bubbles. You want if their monkey ever like aggressively uses the bubble, you want to instantly be the one to start shooting it. Use micro missiles to break it quickly, and then you can sometimes use it just to build ult. There really is no like specific use for it in this comp.
1 second.
Hello? Who's someone have a question?
Cash said 1 second.
Oh, 1 second. I thought he said one thing.
Yeah, that
He
is
might not have
one
been
thing
talking to
also.
us though. I don't know.
Who said that?
It's Cash.
Okay, Cash isn't the Diva player. We can continue.
Yeah, that's fine. For boosters, same thing as monkey jump. Majority of it is just going to be used for survivability purposes. You can have moments like when Shock had
I'm back.
forced. Okay, when Shock had forced Philly have high ground, where you want to set up like a dive just for pressure and to give yourself better positioning on the map, and that would just come with coordination of Diva boosters, monkey jump, a Reaper TP, stuff like that. But all tank movement abilities are for survivability only. You can use it to boot people back, but besides that, use it to stay alive. For Sombra, biggest things, your cloak is only going to be used just to get back into fights, scout early, and that's pretty much it. Not really going to be still like cloaking around much for this comp. A lot of it is just straight up. You're playing in a safe spot or in like a slight off angle, like you can see. Oh, please shut up. As you can see, like his team all got forced into this corner, and he's just sitting here looking for an off angle so he can build EMP and looking for an off angle to possibly get a hack to bring Shock back into the fight. The majority of like Sombra like comp is just you're an EMP bot. Your whole focus is building EMP, using it, whether it be for tempo, whether it be to have like a set engage, or if you can plan around it. Let's say they have EMP, you have EMP, but you also have a Lucio ult. You can play to counter EMP, absorb their EMP, use ult, and then you go for like a hard engage. That just revolves around like what your team wants to do in that moment, how you think you guys need to play with it. For hacks, like I said before, her main hack targets are going to be either the Diva, the Reaper, and then sometimes the Monkey. The biggest thing for that is obviously if you hack the Diva, your Reaper can free shoot now, and their Monkey either has to back off or they have to commit very hard in order to make up for the fact that they don't have Matrix. They can't protect their Monkey at all. They're going to have to do something in order to keep him alive. Even if you hack the Diva as well, she doesn't instantly become target. Your main target for the majority of like all fights is the Monkey. Whoever like in neutral, hard neutrals like this, whoever focuses the Monkey down first automatically win. Next for Reaper, Wraith is mostly going to be survivability. If it's like a cleanup, you can use it to reload, or if you need to stay aggressive in the fight. But for the most part, you just use this when you for sure cannot stay in the fight any longer. And as soon as you do this, you have to make sure you play in a safer position. You
Because they're
can't
gonna
be
chase the fuck out of you.
yeah, like he's frontlining right now because he knows he has his Wraith, so if he has to get out, he can. But as soon as your Wraith is forced out, you have to play a lot more defensive and focus on just keeping everyone off of your Winston.
Should you
And
treat it like a tracer recall, whereas once you use it, you have to play like extremely
Yes.
defensive?
yeah, it's pretty much like that same thing. And your sole purpose after you Wraith, instead of being the tank buster, you kind of become the tank protector. You need to make sure that their Reaper can't just walk on you or your Monkey, and you have to make sure that their Monkey can't get aggressive into you just because you use your Wraith.
So why is Monkey preferential in this comp? Like if you're treating it like goats and it's not, and jump is primarily, obviously at the onset here they use it to take high ground, but otherwise it's a retreat move.
The other option would be Rhine, and Rhine does not take high ground. If you tried to walk right past them, they would just drop down on the back of you and it'll wipe you out. You need the
Yeah.
mobility.
Like there's certain maps where you can make the Rhine work, like they've been doing in contenders. Some teams will run either Rhine Diva or Rhine Zarya, but that's on like maps like Control Center on Lijiang, where there's not really any reason for you to be vertical or have like vertical mobility anyway. And it allows you to kind of brawl harder. It's a lot easier to run than the Winston Diva because it's not, you don't have to be as disciplined with your cooldowns just because your Ryan has the ability, he has a movable shield, like he just walks around with his shield.
Right.
You have a Zarya that can add more pressure to the Reaper if she gets charged. So the Monkey for like the most part is the default just because of that capability. If there is something on high ground, you can still contest it easily. And yeah, if you just play around it, like a Reaper isn't like a big threat to you. He it's just mostly because of you want to be as mobile as possible with this comp. Who was I on? All right, Moira. For Moira,
Reaper TP and ult.
oh shit, yeah, Reaper. Reaper TP. For the most part, you're not really going to use this unless you want to go for like an aggressive play. If you're going for like something super aggressive, like an EMP with a Death Blossom, and you want to have your Reaper come in from like an off angle, you can do that. But for the most part, you're going to be staying with your Winston at all times, so there's no need for it. Another like you saw before, when they all jumped on the high ground, Striker TP'd up to high ground with them so that they all engaged at the same time. So yeah, for TP, mostly just like it's like Reaper's mobility. You kind of use it. You can use it at times to just like move around high grounds or take space or like jump to get out of fights, but it's not really something you want to like focus on too much. For Death Blossom, the biggest thing, it's kind of, Death Blossom is like a weird ult in this. It's really used either to counter the other Death Blossom, like if they're trying to hard engage on you with a Blossom, you take a shot at the Reaper and then instantly hit your ult, so you could try and burst him down. But if you're ever planning for like fights where you don't have EMP with Blossom, the biggest thing is you just have to make sure your team understands, all right, we need to pressure their diva so that she doesn't have Matrix, or she has as little Matrix as possible, so that we can get a lot of value out of this ult. It's not always going to be like an ult to like plan for then make it like a fight win. It's really good for like tempo. Like if you're in the middle of like a brawl and you call that you have Blossom and you just ask for resources from your team, whether that be Diva Matrix, Lucio Amp, or just like a hard pocket from your Moira. It's good at like negating teams that try to hard engage onto you. But for the most part, Blossom is kind of like it's not
Use at your
that,
own will as long as it's
yeah.
not dumb.
Yeah, like it's really just a your call type thing unless you have like EMP to combo.
Let's
or
say
if
you somehow catch the two supports out alone and you know Moira has no fade, ult it if the diva's not on top of you.
Yeah,
That's a fight.
and
That's a
if,
win. That's a fight winner.
and if you end up near the Moira while she's calling or something, that's a good like time you can get a pick on her. Like it's all your call based off of like how the fight is going. If you ever plan for it, the only thing you really have to make sure is that your team knows to either hack Diva or pressure her out.
And try to keep you alive during it.
Yeah, make sure you call for resources.
So that wouldn't be necessarily a use as often as possible, but
no, it's not used as often as possible. It's use if you can kill things and not die.
Yeah. It's like the one ult in like this comp that takes like the most teamwork to make super effective, because you need to make sure they're low on resources. You need to make sure you're up on resources so that you can get value from it.
Roger.
For Moira, Fade, really, it's like your get out tool, but you want to make sure that you're never in a position where you have to use it in a fight, because as soon as you do, if you are in a position like, holy shit, everything got loud. Like if say like Violet uses his Fade and for some reason he comes like to this room, they're gonna ignore the shit out of these people, or at least one or two people are, and they're gonna try and focus Violet. For the most part, you want to make sure that your Fade is always up and it's only used whether you want to fade out of an EMP that's coming in, or if you're just getting out of the fight, or if your team's going super aggressive and there's no way that they'll be able to pressure you because they're on the back foot. It's kind of just like Reaper's Fade. Use it as little as possible and play in a way that you won't be forced to use it.
You might be required to use it, for the first dive on this map. You might be required to use it to get up the stairs fast enough to actually be useful in the fight.
Like that, yeah, like hard engages like that. Well, not really hard engage, but like stuff like that
Aggressive
where you need
engages.
when you need to take space as quickly as your team so that you can force people back. Those are okay times, but mid fight, you want to keep it up as much as possible, play in a way where you don't have to be forced out.
All these abilities go into the use your fucking brain before you use your ability, please.
Does fade, if you're within range of the EMP while fading, are you still immune to it, or do you have to fade?
Yes, you can
EMP
EMP through the you can fade through EMP to survive it or to not get hit by it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
For her orbs, the best use for them is to keep them for heals. Just so that you can build ult faster, and plus a good diva, if you try to throw a damage orb into your comp, eat it, and that's just zero value out of you, and now you're gonna have to hard hold left click to heal anybody. So a good thing to do is like when you're playing around these corners, when you're playing around architecture, to use like little walls and stuff so that your orb will stay longer. Like throw it through your team, make sure that it can hit a wall, and now it's gonna come back through your team, and in spots where their diva cannot eat it, so that now you're building ult faster, you can save your heal resources more, and then that allows you to, like, if anything happens during the fight where your Winston takes a lot of damage, you need to hard pocket him, or if your Reaper calls that he has his ult and he wants to go in with it, now you can hard hold left click on him. The only time I'd say really to use damage orb, if your Sombra calls that a diva is hacked, that's a good opportunity to damage orb, just because now that's even more pressure put on the enemy team.
If Diva's hacked
And-
and we're in position to actually take the fight, you
Yeah.
can do it.
And yeah, that's really the
What-
only time.
What's your thought on what orb do you throw for alt? Because I've heard it different ways.
For this comps, just throw healing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to. For this comp, for Coalescence, before you do it, unless their diva is either out of mech, out of the fight, or hacked, throw. If the diva is just not a problem, like you won't get your orb eaten, throw heals, because one, that allows your team to be pocketed harder, as well as allows you to be able to take that time to possibly damage someone out of position. Say like if you're calling and you see the Lucio like where Moth is, just like up on a wall or out of like away from his team, you can force him out with a Cole. Or you can find their Moira and force her to fade or force her out with Cole. So for the most part with Cole, it's allowing your team to take space as well as making sure that you're in a position to force people back, because nothing can stop that damage coming through. So you want to, if you're going to use it for damage, if a tank's low, you can focus them. If your goal is, like we said, to force a diva out for your Reaper ult, you can focus her with the Cole. Or if default would just be forcing one of the squishies to have to leave the fight. For her right and left click. For the left click, as much as you can, you want to like use the tap heal. It's different now just because she got changed and they don't get as much healing just from like a single tap on them. But you never want to just be hard left clicking to your team, and that's the whole reason for having the healing orb there as well. A big thing you want to like try and work on with timing is having a heal, throwing a heal orb and tapping into your team, and then you find the Reaper or you find the Diva and you use right click to get any healing that you lost back as quickly as possible. So then you can go through entire fights and your healing will like never drop below half.
Tap damage regens faster than hard holding damage.
I don't know.
Oh, it's still it's still a thing.
I don't know
It
if
is
it
still a
stayed with
thing?
the new
Yeah,
one.
no, it's 100% still a thing.
Okay, because I have scroll just on Moira. I have scroll wheel down set to an alternate for right click, just for that to recharge resources faster.
Neat.
Okay, and for the last one for Lucio, kind of covered a little bit for crossfade. Majority of the times you want to be on heals. So if we go back to like so like when they were just starting to engage. So like okay. Set on the corner, and then you see as soon as they decide they want to come around the corner, that's when you like speed. Whenever you're trying to move around and like take space or take engagements, that's when you can be on speed. But as soon as the engagement starts, or if you're in a spot where you're not engaging, you're just staging, just stay on heals. You need to get as much heals as possible as on Lucio for this, so that you can match the EMP of the Sombra. Because that's really your only big counter to EMP is beat. I didn't cover Diva Bomb. Diva Bomb is for zoning and remeching, by the way. The only time you can do something fancy with it is if you know you're about to get EMP'd, you can drop the bomb in the middle of your team so that they can't engage on the EMP. But try to keep that at a minimum, just because majority of the time you're just going to be an insta target, and now you're just a hacked baby diva. So they'll just wait out the bomb and go for you. But yeah, for Lucio crossfade, the majority of the time you want to be on heals. You want to be spamming down at the enemy team so you get a little bit of alt charge from damage. Speed is only for rotations and when you're trying to aggress on the other team. For amp, like I said before, majority of the time it is going to be amp heals, just so that you can build your ult. That is like your most important thing. Sombra is an EMP bot, and you're freaking beat bot. That's all you are.
What's beat used for?
Yeah.
Beat is used to counter EMP.
If you get caught out in a fight, say you get EMP'd and you can't drop beat, fight's lost, blah blah blah, you can use it the next fight for aggression. So don't be afraid. Like if you don't get the beat off, they use their EMP. Don't try to hold it until she gets EMP again. Just plan to take an aggressive fight with beat, because now you're at that advantage where you can drop beat, but they can't. And just from there you can start making plans around the next fight. Like beat is the main counter, but you don't always have to use it.
This should also tell you if you're on Lucio and you know they have a EMP and you have beat, you might want to be playing near a corner. So you might be able to just walk around it so you don't get hit by EMP.
Look at this fight. So like you see, they engage, and Moth is just hiding.
Sombra's a better Sombra will look to EMP earlier in the fight, rather than letting you guys try to roll over you earlier. But I'm assuming we're probably gonna encounter Sombras who like to EMP late or mid fight because of trash cans. So just watch out for the Lucio sitting in absolutely useless spots for 10 hours. If you're sitting there for too long, just say, hey, just go for the fight.
Yeah, like if you're ever in a fight, say if you have your EMP, you see that Lucio is just hiding, and you know that there's no way you could hack him and like get an EMP or even get him with the EMP. Say, okay, we're gonna EMP here, and our goal is to insta blow up the Winston. He's the for sure target. Everyone looks at him as soon as I EMP. You can kill the Winston before it gets casted. So like anytime like you're in that type of situation, you just want to have one solid target that you want to blow up before like the beat cast.
A concise call for that is, I don't know where Lucio is. We're EMP killing Winston. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
See, he literally hid the whole fight. Boom. You don't always have to be in the fight as Lucio, especially if you already have your ult.
Your healing's minimal anyways.
Yeah, you don't really do much healing wise. Your speed's not really important comp. You can like a big thing like I've seen people like Funny Astro and like Li Jiagong do. Like you saw how like they came around this corner. Sometimes they'll like amp speed them around the corner, so it looks like, oh, they're coming in for like a hard engage. Sombra will like look for the EMP because it looks like the Lucio's there, and he'll just stay on the corner, or he'll find a spot like Moth did and just chill in here. And then that's an easy way of forcing her to have to use EMP.
When you have EMP and you're staging and like fight's already won, you guys are you're resetting. Staging Sombra is up top, allowing them to walk in a little bit so that you are almost guaranteed to hit the Lucio if he's still with the team. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For Boop.
Is it the same as like the fucking May Reaper thing?
Yeah, it's similar to like that, and like I've been treating it like the old meta with like Ryan, Diva, May, McCree, stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of it's either to keep your team safe or to catch one of them like out of position. You don't ever want to like force it. Like most of the time you default to like booping a Reaper back or booping a Sombra back and like forcing her to leave
Don't boop the
fight.
fucking Winston back.
Yeah, like you don't ever want to like walk into Taze and get booped or try and boop him, because you're gonna take too much damage and then you're gonna.
And you're also just saving him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like you only really want to boot back like
a DPS.
Reaper, yeah, DPS, and at times a Diva if you boop her away from like your Reaper, but focus on like keeping DPS back for the most part.
If our Lucio's like playing above our team and he has a boop on the Diva but not the Winston, that would also be pretty decent.
Yeah. Fuck, there's something else I wanted to say and we were talking about that. Shoot.
I think that covers all the abilities. Does anyone have any question? You know what hero you would be playing on, all the your ability usages, like basically basic ability usages?
The one thing you didn't touch is Reaper's teleport. I'd imagine that, you go with your Winstons to as much as you can, right?
If Winston jumps, you probably are going to be TPing with him. Other than that, it's really just an escape. If like life's lost, you get out. Maybe if you're planning for EMP Blossom, you might be able to TP on top when you're EMPing. But that's kind of an iffy. You usually aren't going to be that far back from the EMP anyways, as it is.
Yeah, so you get more value of just having your Lucio speed you in as you blossom. But yeah, TP is really just it's like a niche in this comp. Like you saw, like when they jumped to take high ground here, the Reaper TP'd up with the Winston so that they had that pressure. But besides that, you don't really need TP ever.
And for Monkey
Makes
ult,
sense.
would you? I mean, I know you covered it, but it was kind of it's really a heavily it depends situation. It sounds like. I mean,
Yeah, you
obviously,
wanna
like you said, if the Reaper turns around so much as winks at you, consider it a threat to your life.
yeah
But otherwise, just either zone or if
or
you can,
pick
Zone,
out like a support.
stall, displacement on a specific hero. You don't want to just throw them all everywhere because that's kind of useless.
Yeah, if you're going to like
Unless you're calling.
yeah
And you
for
just
like
accidentally
default
yeah.
for like your default you would want to pick out a support and try and zone them out of the fight because they're like the I guess you could say like most reliable like choice out of that. Like you don't want to try and primal a Reaper away, you're gonna die. You don't want to try and primal a Sombra like full commit to her because eventually she's either just gonna translocate or she'll possibly get a hack on you. And then tanks are like a non-question. A lot of times when I've been scrimming this, I get picked out when I'm on Lucio. Like if they try to go really aggressive with primal, he instantly will like go for me, start throwing me backwards. So you want to like default picking out a support, focusing on them, and then if the team turns around on you, specifically the Reaper, you leave, and from there it's a lot of it's just like zoning, keeping space, possibly knocking like a Reaper away from your team or anyone back from your team, so that you guys can like soft reset and like reestablish yourself and then work from an engage from there. But it's really just like a you reading the situation type of thing.
Yep, cool. Can we look at the movement that Shock did to take the high ground in the initial fight? Because honestly, it happened so fast. I did not even see how the Moira got up there. Like I'm assuming just the stairs, but she got up there wicked fast. I don't know if she used the fade or what, but they managed to sink their dive to the high ground fairly quickly.
They have to.
Yeah, must have been it.
They're just
I'll just go to Smurf's POV for that. This jump he did here was just for like spy checking. Oh, that was what I wanted to talk about. Spy checking.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this comp, especially at like the level we're gonna start at, you're gonna have flanky Sombras. They're not gonna be playing like hard brawl with your team. So when it comes to like spy checking, the biggest people who need to focus on that, especially so we'll start with pre-fight. Pre-fight like spy checking. Smurf did like this jump here because a lot of Sombras like to sit up here and stare at the spawn doors. It's like the most basic spot, and tons of Sombras will do that. They'll either sit on that ledge or they'll sit on this ledge and just stare at the spawn so they can call comp. For like the rest of your time walking up, the biggest people that need to focus on that are the Reaper, because you're walking up here, there's nothing you can do to people up here. Start checking spots that like you guys have played against Sombras, you know how Sombras want to play. They want to play around health packs, they want to play off angles to like build ult charge. And you just want to check around certain areas using your shotguns. Diva's doing the same, and then Lucio is also doing that. For during like mid fight, if they're ever on a flank, I've seen the most success when it comes to the, like getting the Sombra on a flank out with Lucio. I've seen teams like throw their Diva at the Sombra, but it's kind of like it kind of just leaves your monkey to die. So you kind of want,
if it's mid fight, maybe a Moira just a quick sweep 180. Lucio can maybe use a boop in the back, because what the fuck else is he gonna boop? Winston can do a 180 real fast. Like when you guys are like staging and fight planning, just keep shooting. Just keep shooting. Don't stop. There's no reason to stop. Spam the fuck out of chokes. Every single choke that there is. Just like if somebody else is shooting at that one, shoot at something else.
I guess, especially Diva, you have infinite ammo. There's no reason for you to not be shooting. But yeah, if she's ever taking off angles, Lucio, you can just put damage down on her. If she's like close enough, you can try to like fight her back. But if you ever have to fly through the air to get to her, just leave her because you're just gonna get hacked, and then that's not fun for you or your team.
Yeah, you're right.
Your Sombra, you also can be like focusing her, especially during like mid fight when like she's just standing with her team. Diva, Sombra, anyone that besides like Reaper mid fight and like maybe a bit of Monkey mid fight. If you see her during the fight, just make sure you like tap her with a shot, or you at least get damage on her, so that she can't get a hack off ever, and she has to focus on just, oh, I'm a giant EQ bot.
I noticed that Reaper's preset on the left there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he TP'd.
Okay.
Yeah, he came
So
over. Yep.
they had him. He TP'd there.
This is at the same time that they're committing, though. It's not some
Yeah,
early
like-
TP.
Yeah, like as soon as he is like TPing, they're walking up. He's done. He's walking up the stairs on like a slight off angle to help with forcing them off.
Did Moth amp there?
Do you see how Monkey jumps up, by the way? He jumps above and behind him, so he doesn't actually get smacked by everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so Violet doesn't even go up there. It looks like.
No.
So let's the
Because
fucking
their whole goal there is just
just
to
get the high ground
On
yeah.
and then
against
fucking
good
come off it.
teams, might not stay up there very long. They'll understand that okay, it's probably time to get out a little bit. But
I mean, this stage on that left side, they were fucking ready to drop.
yeah, but the teams you're gonna go against, they're just gonna sit there and like shit their pants, which
Yeah,
is
and
when
they might
Moira's
try
gonna
to
need
fight
to be up there with you, and because you guys are just gonna end up taking the fight there.
I think Violet does actually go up there
Mhm.
if you keep going. I think she heads up the stairs because they stay there for a second.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, okay. But
And
I mean,
stay
she
there.
didn't necessarily have to.
No, I think it's probably better overall for her to stay down there until they fucking empty.
Well, so like their main thing here, like for sending them there, is one, catch up on any healing that's needed, and they're gonna just chill here so they can get their cooldowns back. Because there's
Yeah.
no way in hell that Philly is gonna try and come back.
I was
They
talking
can't
about
have
like
people come up the stairs because that's just a giant choke and a funnel for a Winston to taste through, a Reaper to shoot through, etc. And there's no possible way they're gonna try and jump back to that high ground because they don't really need it.
Actually, was that a 200 IQ jump by Smurf, or was that a boop?
I think he did it on purpose. Like from the times I've watched it, I think he did it on purpose.
This will protect us.
all that red circles around her.
And one thing too for like early spy checking, like he was looking backwards to see if maybe not to see if Sombra was there, but like if a Sombra like peeks out behind them right now, Monkey should be the one to really jump on her because he's gonna ignore anyone else. Like if she's on a far off angle, like before fights start, she's gonna ignore anything else besides a Winston hard diving on her. And then that's just on you guys to make sure you wait for his cooldown.
Their Sombra's visible. She's not even trying to hide.
No,
Yeah, he did get
purposely,
booped a little bit.
glided.
Which
Yeah,
is why
but
he
he
went
still-
up below. But he did jump on the roof there.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't even hit the boop.
Nah, he purposely like glided across it, and then he put his bubble up there.
Smooth.
Yeah,
You could fucking put it there. Oh, that's
It's
wild.
actually, like nice. Sato doesn't do the same. He gets fucked when they try to do that. Anything else to really go?
That bubble.
I think that's good for us to start off with. Let's like run in. I'm gonna go show some maps and say, let's figure out some default positionings for staging and initiating. How's that
Okay.
sound?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Really like get.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be better than me having to watch like pros and playing.
Yeah, because we ain't gonna, we need to figure it out ourselves. You know, like
Yeah.
you can watch pros to see where they stage. That's usually like almost guaranteed the best spots. But other than that, you're just not gonna be able to like really use that information practically. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, it is
Okay.
beautiful. Look at those maps.
Somebody pick a map.
Lijiang.
Lijiang?
Yep.
Lijiang Tower, okay.
Lijiang is a weird one where you can play Ryan.
Yeah, but we're not gonna look at that map.
Thank God.
Actually, well, yeah, okay, let's look at this one. One doesn't really have high grounds, but you have, everybody knows what we're looking at, right?
Yeah, we're looking
Yeah,
at
garden.
Right. So pathing. Here's your lane 1, lane 2, lane 3. Make sense? Peck, which way do you
Yeah.
normally send your teams for main or for initial fight?
First fight's always to the left.
Dojo?
Yeah, the dojo.
Okay.
You play around the freaking dildo.
Dojo to dildo. Hell yeah. I like the call.
Right. You play around
One
here.
thing too is for like beginning of these, you don't for this comp you do not need a TP like out with a Symmetra. Just get that off
Okay.
the table. You don't need to do it because one, you have mobility, you easily get there with speed as well as your tank's mobility, and two, either way, if you get there before your Reaper, now you just have to wait before you can do anything. So just don't bother TPing out with Sim.
Makes sense. Right. So we would look to aim to get to this area first. At this point, by the time you get here, you will be able to see them. Right? They're almost always going to be the same area as you, or even closer. Hold on. You will be able to see them about the same time or later than them. Assume that. So by the time you're here, you should see what tanks they have. If they have a Monkey D.Va, I would honestly assume that they're running Mirror. If they don't, if you see a Pharah, right, you should be able to see a Pharah by this area. Call that, because then you just need to watch out to eat the boop or something. Don't use bubble for boop, fuck's sake. Just a tap on the eat for the D.Va eat. Because you really don't need to watch for anything else. For the D.Va doesn't really need to watch for anything else from over there until you guys get to the actual fight. So let's say you all made it past here, right? So now you need to be looking at where's the actual target. They probably have if they don't have a mirror, they probably have an Ana somewhere around here. Look for that. Walk onto her, right? You can probably just walk onto her, maybe like play inside there. Some dumbass maybe might flank through there. Here's an off angle for DPS maybe, depending on where they're actually playing. Let's say they have a Pharah Tracer. Peck, how would you just go on the let's say they have an Ana Mercy, Pharah Tracer, D.Va Winston. Ana's first target, right? She's the easiest thing. She's got no mobility, right?
Yeah, you'd want to first start with just like hard pressuring their tanks. Because there's nothing they can do to stop your pressure. Like you still have your Reaper to brawl in the front. They don't have that. You just hard pressure the tanks back, and as they start moving back, then you easily just hard engage.
Okay.
You'd want to. That's like one of the instances you would use amp to speed onto people.
Okay. So the advantage would be one of them. Default fight. You're spamming. It's not an actual dive. It's called 6-man dive because we're stupid. But it's actually a brawl, right? You're diving on special occasions for pretty much mobility or cleanup, I guess. Your advantage that you would call is saying, hey, their tanks are backing up because they're low as hell. You push on that, or maybe you already got a pick. You push on that, or maybe their D.Va and their Winston are out of shield and DM. You kind of push on that.
Yeah, the biggest thing for like non-mirrors, especially if it's like a far comp, you just have to play fast. You want to make sure you are quick to pressuring people down and then quick to finding a target to engage on, because far comps have to technically play slow.
Yes.
I'll just cover like the mirror. If they're in a mirror, the main thing you're doing is just playing around the pillar there. You play around that pillar for advantage or until you get coal. Advantage, like I said, is just hack on D.Va, hack on Reaper, stuff like that. Or if the monkey's really low and you can hard focus him. But for the most part, your starting neutral fights are just going to be building coal. And then taking the engage hard with that.
Are hack calls pretty much synonymous with target focus calls? I figured.
Yeah, so hack on a D.Va means you focus the Winston. Hack on the Reaper, you focus him. Hack on Winston, you focus him. Those are the majority of people that should be focused with hacks.
Unless the D.Va's really fucking pushed up, like let's say D.Va's over here and their Winston's still here, and you hack the D.Va, you could probably get on the D.Va easier than anything else.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's a lot of
hate
against Winston's here, and I don't like that.
It should be on the Sombra because she should be realizing this faster than anybody else. That okay, D.Va's out here alone. Let's hack her. I'm gonna call her right now while I'm hacking. Hacking D.Va, hacked, right?
And starting neutrals like this is when on Sombra, you can sort of take like an off angle. For the most part, you're going to be playing with your team, but like for this one, a common one, like so yeah, like where he like coming through the point area there and just like looking for like a small hack off the start. If it works out, it does. If it doesn't, just default to going back to your team so you don't just get pressured out immediately.
Cool. So let's go figure it out on another map. Eichenwald should be a good one. Okay, first point defense. Somebody tell me where's initial stage.
For defense?
Probably around the corner or bridge. Oh, you mean defense?
Yeah, we're on defense. You know, we sitting here, we sitting here, we sitting up here, we sitting
Oh,
here.
it's the bridge.
I would say up at choke right under bridge.
What's the plan there?
Use the near side of bridge, usually right side, that corner.
Right, you just this is your kill box, right there. When they're trying to walk past, either they jump up on you and only half of them are there, so you melt them, and you kind of walk backwards while you do it, because they have to line of sight you even more. They have to line of sight their supports even more. You could potentially try holding over here so that if they try to walk in, they really got nowhere else to go, because you can just walk around the corner again and play ring around the rosy a little bit. But yeah, definitely up here, decent place to start. Or back here, like it's a lot of distance they have to go, and you don't really have a lot of range spam. You might be able to get a hack off. Maybe Sombra's chilling over here. Might be able to get a hack off right there while they're walking up. But yeah,
For this point,
To be clear,
it's good to like play around like that hacked mini there.
you said up here. You mean up at the choke, or did you mean literally on top of the bridge? For that forwardmost.
on top of the bridge.
Yeah,
you don't want to be on the
some people
floor.
can be playing on so a lot of people can like play on top of the bridge. Like Sombra can chill up there because if they don't force her away from that bridge, that's just
Sombra's here, Reaper's here. Actually, maybe Sombra might be on this side.
How about main tank ground? Or
I would
still up there?
say yeah, I would say definitely the Winston or the Dva at least up here too. Because what else are they gonna do? I mean, maybe Dva might be spy checking through here. Because she can just walk around the corner and DM eat.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd say Monkey almost should definitely be at least up here. Because he should be zapping them while they try to walk past. If they're ignoring him, he just zaps them. And
there's just no corner to play behind. So like, I mean, obviously there's the lip of the high ground.
There's this room.
And
yeah, and then there's
stairwell, right?
Say what?
You play into the stairwell as your corner.
Yeah, kind of, because like, what are they gonna do? Push in on you? Good job. That's an easy kill for you.
Right. Okay. Yep. Get it.
So this would be 1. It'd be fight area 1, fight area 2, fight area 3. Make sense?
Yep.
Now for attack, how the fuck do you attack that?
You send Sombra around a point and back out.
So you could potentially do that, but I don't think the best way to play this comp is by pulling them off. Let's say I would say maybe you try that second after you fail to do the first push. Then you kind of say, okay, we can't win the 6v6. Let's make it a 5v5. That's when I would say you might try to do that to like force a point contest. And make sure everybody's ready to be fighting when somebody cloaks here. Otherwise, it's kind of useless.
Right.
Right, so you can walk over here. You could just walk over here, hey, you guys got a contest point at some point if they're just chilling up here. They're going to try to drop down on you here, at which point it's kind of an even fight, where they don't really have high ground advantage that much, because this is actually kind of far. So you could potentially go there. There's 15 different paths over here. But you guys are on attack, so you want to take point. And that's kind of, it's completely even ground over here. So there's that. And actually that's kind of the only high ground that you have over here and here. If you go around here, I would probably expect them to try to go here and maybe take on high ground there, but that's a much easier fight for you. Because if they're still on the floor, you can just dive right there. Make sense?
Yep.
That's called pathing. that should be called like initially. Like you guys might be able to walk out here or walk out there. Your Sombra should be the first one to see them because of speed, probably, or because of invisible speed. She can call high ground or she can call near point. And then you guys should know, okay, if they're near point, we could probably just try looking to walk in towards main area, and then we go left, we go right, which way we go from there. And then, like, while you're doing that, you call abilities being used by them, or, you just kind of inch your way up. You inch your way up until the fight's here, and nobody's used anything, and then it's all down to Diva micro management and Diva DM management and Reaper shooting the actual Winston in the face. Make sense?
Yep.
All right, somebody pick a map. Or do you want to do some other point?
King's
Row.
Row.
Before you move on, I have a quick question about
Yes.
it. I'm sorry. So if you do that, if you go the far right route on attack and they drop down from bridge and they fight either behind payload or at the corner there of the half destroyed building.
You say the fight's here or here?
Like or even south, if you will, of that building from there. Like if you're on attack, you take the far right and you go up the stairs and all the way down the long hallway and you end up packed out on that high ground. Yep. Like what is the is it preferred to try to fight from there, or do you have to essentially get out of there as quickly as possible?
Sombra has a good hack angle from there. If they're close, they're probably going to be sitting in this corner here or this corner here, which is kind of fine. You guys can sit on point and then tickle them as they try to touch point. You kill whoever touch point first, right? Because at that point they're on the defensive. I mean, you guys are on the defensive and they're on the offensive. You might have to go a little bit offensive because they only need touch with one person. So you can have your Moira over here. Just make sure you don't get shot by something random.
Well, I guess that's what my question is you're giving up that high ground fairly quickly in order to gain positioning, because otherwise you're all just kind of fucking.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a neutral fight at that point.
It's like the same thing that like we just saw like the Shock do. They took that high ground just so that they could get them, like make sure that they are the ones that are gonna have to like dictate coming off of high ground. They take that positioning, reset, everyone's healed up, everyone has cooldowns, and then they engage, and like then they start to like they just drop off the high ground, because technically it's not that important unless like you're the defender and you can just drop on people.
Okay.
But it's a much more even fight than just walking underneath them or like trying to send half your team up top to fight there.
Right.
Any other questions about this map, or okay, so let's go review this stuff.
Team review.
Do we guys need a 5-minute break, or can we just go through? Everybody still here mentally?
Check on learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning. Jesus.
Okay, good. Right, first fight, know your role. Everybody understand more about their role now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Pathing, you understand, don't pick the stupid place, right?
Yes.
Think about
Varies
what they
based on
have.
where they're at.
What's their win condition? Is it just a brawl? Is it a spam? Let's say they have the Pharah Ashe, then they're probably playing like all the way back here. So don't fucking go this way. Don't go this way. Go that way, where you have the most cover until you take the closer fight, right? Because when you do that, they're probably gonna run back towards here, if anything. If they want to give up the high ground, they're gonna run back there because it's the only other place they can be. At which point it's you're both on the low ground, and you just have to take a fast fight where they really have not much to go. It's all open space. They have nowhere to hide. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Pre-fight, right? What do they have? And then middle thing. If they have any swaps, and like they don't have any ult charge on that person, you don't have to worry about that. But if they're changing from brawl to spam, you might want to call for that. If they have a widow, call that immediately. I think the DPS are the ones who should be pressing tab the most while they're walking towards their next staging position, because supports are focusing on ult charges and who has what. And tanks are kind of looking at tanks or DPS. One of them is scouting and also checking out what they have. As a Pharah, I always like to have my Mercy like pressing tab immediately when fight's won. Just press and hold tab until to make sure that they're not gonna pull out a widow on me. Just so that they can call it as soon as possible. Does that make sense?
I like it.
Right. So our win condition. What's our win conditions? We have EMP bomb, EMP Reaper, Cole plus a follow up. There's not too much else you can really do with the comp. But now you plan for those. How do you get those off, right? How do you get an EMP off? What do you want on EMP? Any answers for that?
What do we want?
Question.
What do you want at EMP?
Shields and Matrix.
The monkey and Lucio.
Monkey, Lucio, D.Va, highest target priorities. Unless they have a Reaper ult on, maybe you want to get the D.Va and the Reaper. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, make sure that you know who's in your EMP before EMPing. That would be best. Right, calling your advantages. What type of advantages do you guys have? DM, they're low on DM. They have no monkey bubble. They have no fade. They have no wraith. Those are all types of advantages you can call. That is if you have like all of your abilities up and ready still, then you can engage on it. Right, your follow-up damage. Let's say your EMP Reaper fails, finish it up with Cole. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Or probably EMP bomb into a Reaper at the end of it, maybe if you have to. When you have no win condition, right? It's a dry fight. You want to just like spam them, poke them while walking up into them. Like that's the neutral fight, right? Just if you're both on the floor here, you kind of just keep smacking each other until somebody has an advantage. Then you punish the advantage. Right? What do they have to counter what you guys have? They have Lucio beat. So, keep an eye out for that Lucio when you're looking for EMP. Maybe you can get him too, maybe not. Oh well. But don't just blindly think about it. Or, like, don't not think about it.
And they have D.Va Matrix for your Reaper ult as well.
Right, can you force a counter out early? They have beat, and let's say they're on attack. They have beat. Maybe you guys drop on top of the Lucio because they're just trying to run past you. Just drop on him and EMP if he's already there. Or maybe he's not there and he's stuck over here. Sombra takes the fight on him and everybody else takes the fight up top. High priority targets, right? It's usually dependent on win conditions, right? What they're probably going to be ulting with, stuff like that. If you can get the pick on them on the high priority target sooner, the better. And then staging, right? Making sure we're sitting in smart places here, staging and pathing.
For the high priority targets for this comp, if you're in the mirror, the order should go Winston and then Reaper.
Yeah.
Just because as we saw, lose the Winston, you don't have like as much frontline pressure. They have to back up, and then if they're down the Reaper, that allows your Winston to become more aggressive throughout the fight. So if like he gets hit with EMP and you can easily collapse on him, try to get the Reaper as much as possible.
Neat. Thank you. Right. So when you're staging, where's your kill box gonna be? Right. That was your. Ooh, wait. Let's pick a new map for this one.
Can we do King's Row? Because
No,
I've never
not
really
King's Row.
played.
Because we might
You
not be
know
running
what,
that King's Row. You might not. You could run it on King's Row, but it's kind of a
No, Rialto, I think.
Okay, because like I've never really played dive on King's Row, so.
Probably a reason.
Don't know who that is. Rialto. Where's first point? The hell?
First point's just on the bottom left, yeah. The long fucking first point compared to.
Okay. Where were we? Kill boxes, right? First point, kill box. You guys can be sitting up here and here, maybe even here. Maybe put your Sombra there, for that off-angle hack. they have to walk up, right? You spam, you spam, you spam. They're probably gonna try to jump you a little earlier. Which point you can kind of back off a tiny bit or take the fight. Which is why I kind of like to recommend this area, because you can actually back off easily. And you can also just contest from up there for fun. Right, kill box. This whole fucking point's a kill box in different ways. Right, from here, or from there, or from there. And then maybe you're stuck on the floor and you have the wall here for the kill box in this area. You just gotta make sure you double check this area and this area and this area first by checking. Because if the longer the fight is, and if you notice you don't hear Sombra shooting, she's on the flank. Somebody call it. Sombra maybe look for her. Especially if you already have EMP. Well, if you already have EMP, then maybe you should just fucking take the fight before she's actually in the fight. But make sure somebody's on it. And this, where the hell did I go? If somebody calls somebody's on the flank, call if you cannot take it. Let's say you're a Rhine, call that you cannot look away from the front line. If you're a Zarya and your Rhine's taking heavy damage and they're pushing, call that you really can't take that. You really can't peel at the moment. Maybe you could throw a bubble, but you can't actually follow up and chase the kill. Does that make sense? That way somebody else knows, oh fuck, I guess I really have to because I'm not really doing much else. Where were we? Rotating effectively, right? Don't drop down here and then walk back here. Stay up top here, walk back here. Make sense? You don't want to just drop in front of them to get to the next spot. You want to stay in your advantageous position and to get to the next point. Now let's say we're in the fight here. Mid-fight, call the advantage. D.Va, no DM, and Monkey no ball. Reaper no Wraith, and he's chilling right here. You might be able to drop on him. Target calls. On the hack. On whatever is the advantage. Enemy ability usage. Call the Wraith, call the Fade. Call the Amp. Call the D.Va Matrix if you see it up for more than 4 seconds. She's probably pretty damn low on it. Fight status if it's won or lost. If it's lost, just down point versus just get out or jump off the map. If you know they don't really have ult charge, jump off the map. If you know they already have their ults, just stall. Right, then post fight, once you guys have won or lost, then somebody calls for ult status. Your ult tracker will start thinking in their head, what the hell do they have? Just go down the line, press tab, go down the line. What do they have? What do they use? What do they not use? Rule of thumb, if you're awful at ult tracking, after every fight, assume if they didn't use it last fight, they have it unless they were absolutely useless.
That's how I do it.
Yep. That's a general rule of thumb until you actually understand what it takes for them to get it. And the more you play a specific comp, the more you'll realize how fast they get it. Like Morris, they can get it in the middle of an extended fight, right? And if your fight's longer than 25 seconds, the Moira has an ult.
And with Sombra in this comp, if their Sombra's playing really flanky, she's gonna build EMP really slow. If she's right in your front line and every time you're walking up, you're getting spammed at by a Sombra, no matter what, she's gonna build EMP stupid fast.
Cool.
Alright. Everybody hop in the game. We're gonna drill diving absolutely nothing.
Alright.
My favorite target.
Actually, does anybody have any questions before we do that?
While we're all loading up, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab some water.
Yeah, take 2-minute break, and then we're gonna go dive nothing.
Yeah,
Cool.
We're gonna be working on our coordination.
Alright, let's get that AAR going.
Team 1 is defensive, right?
Yes, yeah.
Alright, might be a little OP. Roll 2v6, but that's fine. Pick a map, somebody.
Junkatown.
Blizzard World. What a great idea.
Yeah, I said Junkertown's one of those iffy maps right now. Have you been like ringing lately, Law?
Honestly, I've hated Sombra so much I kind of stopped.
Understandable. Yeah, Junkertown, I've been ringing and I've had like teams running double shield again for it just because it's such a fucking weird map.
I mean, I could see that comp working really well when you hold spawn, like for first and second. You know, you hold spawn for the early fight and the late fight for first point, rather than just giving them most of the point.
Yeah.
And then second and third are pretty straightforward as usual. Okay, I need.
Alright, I'm back.
Guys, I don't know.
So
I
Law, I don't
back.
think I have you added.
No, I have nobody added because my friends list is
Yeah.
full, and
Daddy.
my request list is full.
Okay.
So.
Let's see.
Oh man.
Oh, I'm on my alt account. 1 second.
I'll just
that
join
is
you.
the-
Can you guys invite everybody on?
uh,
1 second. I'm hopping on my main account.
Good day.
I'm here.
It's Yago. That's all I got.
Fred. I'm gonna invite Gravy. I'm kidding. He'd be so mad.
Who's our off tank? Who's that?
That's me. I'm on my way. I was on the wrong account.
Fermi
Oh, and also Fermi too. Okay.
Oh. Boom. Ding. Oh fuck.
Who are we missing? Fermi? I think he said he went to the bathroom.
Him and Ricardo were missing. I got Ricardo.
I just gave an invite.
There we go. Yeah, I'm here. I need an invite.
Somebody invite him. Thank you. Okay, Ricardo, you're gonna be on defense. Wait, no. Hold on.
Vexers as well. You should swap him with.
What?
Vex is a new D.Va player.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so.
We're paying attention.
Right, okay, Fermi's on blue.
Real quick, just one more question for Reaper.
Yeah.
So we obviously saw in that video with Shock versus whoever the other person was. When they were taking that high ground, they teleported to the side. Would it ever be viable if, like, say Monkey calls, "Hey, we're diving here, 3, 2, 1." I use the teleport to go directly in, or no?
Yeah, you want to do it not in their face, but like right behind where your Winston's gonna land.
Okay.
Or maybe an off
Soft.
angle, like you saw. He TP'd onto the stairs a few seconds right before they jumped, because he knew they were 100% committing. So that's why he TP'd right there, because it's kind of a safe spot. And if they want to chase him, they're out of position.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Right.
Oh yeah.
Everybody stay in the same channel. Just because I want everybody to. Right. Gates aren't opening yet. Wait, hold on.
No dying on my watch.
Oh.
Prepare to attack. Select
Right.
your hero.
I've been over here talking. I'm muted. I'm an asshole.
Right. So, defenders, pick your comp, and now talk about where you want to stage and all the fun stuff. You can pull up the list of stuff that you need to talk about.
Oh jeepers.
Oh, who did you want on?
Are you guys loaded into the game?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still. It's I'm still at the Blizzard World
Who said
loading
it?
screen.
I mean, it says assemble your team, but
It says you're in here, but you obviously haven't picked.
Who said that? Who said that?
Weird.
This
Day.
day.
Oh,
Oh,
might be loading.
Day
I
has
don't know
left.
what's going on. There it is. I'm here. Cool.
Okay.
You fixed it.
Huge.
All right, so
Science
Okay,
will
Peg,
reveal
this is where
attack commences in 30 seconds.
I mean,
if we're expecting mirror on this comp,
Yeah.
my 2 cents
Alright,
is to
this
play.
game's super glitch for me right here. I'm gonna have to leave and come back.
It's play either.
Ricardo.
wouldn't we want to take up there?
Yeah,
Because
we
it-
Vex, what are
Yeah.
you?
Oh, they left.
Support.
I don't know. Like you can't reach. I mean, I guess you could just dive down. You can't apply any pressure if
But
they just hug that
They
for
have
a
to
wall.
walk past us to get to the point.
Yeah, I know, but they
Dropping them.
right. Yes.
They could also
Gotcha.
be.
Unequal to invite player. They're in competitive play.
I'm
Oh, I
up
already
here.
got him in there.
I'm in like the lobby now.
Oh.
There we go. Sorry, I don't know what was going on.
Like
Never seen it
realistically, if
act
it's
like that.
near,
We're
I
good
think
now.
we could
Everybody
keep that
loaded in?
high ground and then
Yeah.
rotate.
Okay, start it.
Look at that. Almost at ult already.
One
Oh,
kill.
Jesus
Prepare
Christ.
to attack.
If it does this again, I'm gonna start streaming so you guys can see it. Everyone's invisible on my screen.
That's
I've
fine.
never- Okay.
That sounds like a processing problem.
You
Oh
aim
wait,
like
did
it's
I
like that.
boost the wrong team?
You
Boost?
boosted blue, right?
Probably.
That's their side.
Yeah, we were getting ult hella fast.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
That's okay. We'll have ult before you even leave spawn.
Oh.
Prepare your
Okay.
defenses.
That's
Select
fine. Oh, you know what? That made things a little bit easier on me, I guess.
Quit playing games with
Y'all
my
on
fucking
your
heart.
normal rolls, right, Vexen, Ricard?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I'm playing projectile.
TPS or you two.
Yeah,
hit
you guys,
spam, it don't
because we
matter.
have all the hit scan players today, you guys can choose Sombra or Reaper, fight it out amongst yourselves. Try to keep it consistent. If you want to just swap back and forth consistently, that's fine. Until you like figure out who's better at what, that's okay. But try to figure it out, and you can fight amongst yourselves. And if you can't, I don't know. Don't talk to me about it. I don't want to hear it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think with this one,
Up
we
main
always
stair.
fucking want to be going left, I would think.
Objective
Spam.
So, like...
Left side of statue, hug the left wall. Tight, because they're gonna drop.
I didn't hear what comp they're running.
Aha!
Sure didn't.
You're 4 people! You're
Hey,
running nothing!
I'm the only one who's
We're running
spoken,
mirror
so
comp. I wanna hear
it's
mirror.
everybody else's fault.
Okay. They're down there, Winston! Push! I'm kidding, they probably actually don't have Winston.
Alright, I got a
mirror
diva
comp.
in here.
Oh, they do
Are
have
we
one.
together? Come on, let's go. Boost,
What's
boost,
your plan?
boost.
What's your plan?
Around wall side.
Point, bring
Make
you
them
over
drop
here.
to
That's
us.
the point? Okay.
Fight this right wall, fight right wall, fight right wall.
Winston's hack.
Winston.
Monkey?
Oh, I see how it is.
I mean, I didn't really want you to beat there, but.
My bad.
Okay, this might
Don't
be
worry,
a long
guys. I
game.
got it.
Alright.
That's a
Don't
reset.
Everyone, don't everyone hit Q. I just did that to make sure they couldn't kill them.
Alright, they have no ult.
They're gonna fucking have
Alright, we'll try to
Okay.
control ourselves here. But I want to hear, like, your advantages calls. Call the hacks. Get on the
So
target.
it's not a real advantage if like. Yeah, never mind. All right,
Play it like
we'll
it
do
is. Play it like it is.
If there's a hack off, then it's an advantage no matter what.
I'm just gonna try to keep myself alive.
They're holding
just
top
because
right.
It's not gonna be a 2-second fight.
Let's dive them. Fuck them.
Okay,
Ready?
you call it.
Diving. 3, 2, 1.
Fuck the monkey.
More. Monkey hack. Monkey hack.
Skills
Monkey
grab,
hack. Drop.
skills grab.
Reset. All right. Soft reset.
Reset,
Neutral.
Get back.
Diving. Moira. 3, 2, 1.
Again, walk.
Yeah.
Diva hacks. Oh, maybe not.
Must be nice to have
Diva
it.
hacks.
Hell.
Alright, back. We got it back. This is
Fight
deep.
lost.
We don't got a main. We don't got a main.
Reset. Hard reset.
Monkey's in us. Monkey's deep. Monkey's deep.
Monkey
Monkey's
dead,
deep.
monkey
Monkey's deep.
Oh, I forgot I have infinite bubbles.
Nobody
My
dies.
bad.
Monkey bubble down. Monkey.
Regroup.
So remember, we're not jumping into the fight. We're kind of just walking in and fucking poking out.
Yeah.
So no
You're right.
fucking jump engage.
Ult status, by the way.
Well, you fucking all have them.
Well, yeah, but pretend like we don't.
They
I
don't
want to
have.
hear that you actually call it. You want to get it.
Well, honestly,
beat it.
Monkey was alive long enough to fucking have it again here. They definitely have a
Wait.
default. They didn't use that.
Should we take high ground?
They're holding back
Yeah,
left.
beat.
Back left.
Now let's just
Yeah,
go
we're gonna
around right
take high
side.
ground.
If we're not sitting high ground, what's the advantage for you guys taking high ground?
Let's go right side.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, no, I'm on. your
I don't
team.
see all of them.
I'll shut up.
Right side.
Hey, we're gonna EMP
Play.
this fight.
Play the corner.
Back foot.
EMP.
It's pressuring the front line.
Focus the monkey.
Attack,
Focus the
monkey
monkey.
Monkey dies. Monkey dies. Monkey dies. Monkey dies. I didn't know to go here. Monkey dies still.
Apparently I don't.
Oh, he's gonna pop over here.
Winston hacked.
No, I think we're just out of
The
this.
monkey.
Alright, this might be a little bit.
Yeah, we're just out of there.
You're standing still and you're still alive.
Now, Diva.
Winnable.
Diva can die.
Monkey back in 2. Alright, I'm back.
Those are after now. Home speed.
Play the corner.
Diva.
Nope.
Diva.
Which fucking health do you have? What the fuck?
Monkey hack.
A fucking billion.
Monkey can die.
Alright, we gotta group. We're down a tank back.
Yeah, we're down. It's reset.
It's like monkey can die.
He cannot.
Hell.
More than just.
Did we just do
quick
extra
odds.
damage or something? Did we ever like our damage up?
Do you?
I don't know what he boosted.
It feels like we're fucking just melting things.
Is this a walk on him?
Ult tracking, by the way. Pathway,
No.
by the
Sorry,
way.
this whole entire situation is just so awkward.
Alright, so yeah. Okay, well if you. Alright, hold on. Everyone back out. Back out. So I'm ignoring the rules because of the extreme disadvantage. So anyone have any thoughts? Obviously we cannot kill them.
Well, no,
We've
okay,
tried
pretend like you
the
can.
2 main ways.
Pretend like you can, and just go through the motions. You know what'll
Yeah,
be
you
okay.
guys.
Right.
We're gonna walk on him
Right
until we
side,
get our.
right side of choke again. We're gonna melt Winston bubble, call matrix loss. We have no ults. Let's build the EMP. So slow fight to EMP.
Alright.
Conserve. Blade bubble.
Break the bubble.
Break.
You can call.
Use coal.
Call it. Focus monkey.
Going.
Press. Aggress.
Keeping you alive.
Watch bomb.
Good job.
EMP coming in.
Focusing monkey.
Monkey.
Monkey dies here.
Lucio.
10 seconds.
Diva is
Lucio's
good.
behind the point. Diva dies. Diva's hacked.
I'm down.
Target, by the way, it's like 10
Diva.
seconds.
Right side.
Diva still focus Diva.
Target, by the way.
Monkey. Monkey. Focus monkey.
Target, by the way.
Focusing monkey.
Monkey's.
I'm low.
No,
Don't
different
give up.
target.
Oh, it's just me.
Right. Okay.
Victory.
Yeah, it might be a little stacked too much. I was
Lower
expecting
my-
only to have 2
Yeah.
players on this team. But it's
Lower my
fine.
damage healing for sure.
But yeah, I think somebody needs to call, you know, like if you don't hear the ults being called every fight, say ult status, right? Like just literally anybody can say ult status. Do we have role sets or like
Yeah,
comm
that's supposed to be me. I was just getting really fucking demotivated, honestly.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
that's gonna happen
It's
in an
fucking
actual
like
game.
legit. No, it's like every single fight there was just ults. Like, what was the point of calling that when you guys had them? Legit, the Diva had she popped bomb in fucking 5 seconds. She had it again. It's like,
Yeah, okay, that was a little BM, but it's okay.
like I saw the hack go off, and I saw the next fucking like the fucking little check mark. I was like, bro, that's okay. I'll try to like disconnect from the fact that that was happening. We're good. Did that monkey just?
I mean, if we never mind.
Okay, we're just gonna try diving again. Let's swap Ricard and Fermi and Vex and Vex. Who do you sub for?
Why don't we just go into a quick play and then you spectate when we join?
I don't like that
I know.
idea.
Yeah, that sounds
You can't
like a
control
terrible
you can't control the timing with that.
Okay.
What do you mean? Can't control the timing?
We can't pause if I want to yell at you. Vex, what do you play, Vex?
Main or
flex
off?
I thought you were flex.
Support. He
No,
does
it's a flex.
Okay, okay, snazz out this one.
Oh.
I've been trialing for both. For me.
Welcome
Okay.
to Blizzard.
This time they only have 4 times damage reduction instead of 8.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's not fair.
Oh, cool.
For people on the boosted team, please treat your ults as if you would normally have them in a match. You're not gonna
Susie?
have Diva bomb in the first 5 seconds. not gonna have beat during the first fight. Treat it
What's
in that
going
way
on
so
here?
that we can-
I can barely hear you, Pequeño. You're kind of low.
Yeah, you got real quiet.
Select your hero.
For
He said for
people
the-
on the boosted team, treat your ults as if you would have them in a real match. So don't beat first fight because you're not gonna have beat. Don't diva bomb first fight because you're not gonna have that. Like, make it realistic. So first ult's probably going to be Cole. So if I Cole, that doesn't give you the sign of, oh fuck it, let's let loose. SATA settings.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Attackers
Alright, so what's our pathing here?
Activating the barrier.
Well, gonna scout where they're at. If they're on the high ground, honestly, I don't see a point in bothering taking the high ground from them. They if we just hug left wall and go past, then they have to come down. They can't range us from there. So just spam as we walk, boost the point, and then we'll fight on the corner that they're gonna drop down to.
Do you want to go Viking and then jump the point from there, so we don't take poke in the main?
What's fine? Oh, shit's fine. Sure, let's go Viking. I'm not as big a fan of it because it's just too much spam value at the door. I boost.
See anything?
They're lower. They're lower.
Right side, right side, right
They're
side,
on
right
point,
side.
they're on
They're
point.
above point. High
They're
ground,
bunker, they're
high point.
bunker.
Okay, far right. Come,
Wrap
circle
around,
back,
wrap
circle
They're
back.
bunker spam. They're bunker spam.
Okay, hey,
Sigma's axe.
we're gonna hug underneath.
Hog underneath.
Dick.
Why not?
Break shield, break shield, break shield. They have Bastion, Bastion, Bastion.
Bastion side,
Lamp
Bastion
out,
side.
lamp out.
Hack, Bastion's hack.
Keep moving.
Bastion's
Empty
hack.
heals, empty heals. Bastion, 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 Bastion. Crack.
Push into that window, push into that window. Come on, Bap.
Bap.
Rissa.
Bap's down.
Nice, Arissa.
Arissa.
Nice.
team.
Take space.
Okay, what else do they have?
Okay.
They use window.
Stay switch, Tracer.
They're going mirror.
Sombra.
Yeah, Sombra. Yep.
They're on a mirror.
Winston Diva. Their dive.
Where do you see him, Sombra? Anywhere?
They're just jumped up on high ground.
Someone's right there, guys.
Okay, wait up there. Back out, Diva. Let's wait for.
Lucio
Wait
heals
for
on fire.
Yep, she's that low. She dropped.
Sombra looking for hack.
Poking her so she can
Fight
hack.
left side, back left side of payload. They're gonna break bubble, no bubble.
Cole
for me.
calling. Cole.
Heavy heals.
Cole.
Bubble, your Diva's hacked.
Speed.
Who we hitting? Who we hitting?
Diva. Or
Diva?
monkey, I mean monkey.
No missiles.
Monkey's hack.
Monkey. I'm hacked.
Still finishing monkey. I'm hacked.
Reaper dies.
Holding up quick.
Straight corner.
Monkey's gonna jump out of bomb bag.
Well, I'm gonna zone.
Heavy heals.
Who you want to hack? Monkey? Monkey's hack.
Monkey.
Focus monkey.
Monkey low, Diva low on him.
Diva. Go on Diva.
Yeah.
She's above.
Sombra behind. Or Moira behind.
Diva
Moira
Diva's
behind.
hack.
Diva.
More behind, more.
Call on point.
Baby Diva.
We're a little bit more specific. Use health packs and point as a relative position.
Beacon in place.
Roger.
Alright, you guys three on point, Diva and I forward.
Found
You got
Sombra.
somebody, Diva?
Control.
They're gonna have Sombra. Oh, so watch out.
She's right. She's still here. She just transponded across.
I play behind a little bit.
Alright, I have ult here. Do we hack?
Monkey,
You
I'm
wanna
helping
hack?
you. Monkey's no leap. Monkey's no leap.
Take the
Monkey's
final
gonna be
point.
hacked. No, he's not.
At the corner, we got the point. Don't worry.
Yep.
Diva's hacked. Diva's hacked.
Just go up front, Avenger.
I'm just tickling Sombra so she can't get a hack off. Sombra,
Cole.
TP out.
Move on it.
Engage is cool.
Winnable.
Sombra's on the left. Mini health back.
There she is.
Monkey.
Sombra trans out.
I'm making sure Sombra can't hack.
Monkey one.
Monkey's one.
Sombra right.
Sombra right.
Sombra dies.
Monkey no bubble.
Monkey.
Monkey heals.
Diva's hack. Diva dies.
Diva.
Baby Diva.
Staggers.
We have
We start
you
next
wanna
fight.
cover?
We'll just do EMP bomb.
EMP bomb or Reaper?
No, EMP blossom. Yeah, better for the angles here.
AP
Yeah,
Blossom.
these
Alright.
can all.
They should have Winston and
If you can't do it at the choke, let's try to fight them here.
Monkey jump.
Sombra behind, Sombra on point, Sombra on point.
Alright, ready for EMP?
Sombra one.
Send it.
Break shield.
Winston dies.
Holding left.
God, I'm just throwing act.
Sombra's over here by the mega.
Winston ulting. Winston primal.
D.Va sack.
Sombra's right side.
Sombra's
by
still
the
bottom.
mega still.
Holding the right click on there. She died.
Monkey low.
Alright, ulting to clear point.
Yep.
Bomb.
Heavy speed.
Body blocked it.
Winston on point. Winston's
one. D.Va sack.
On beat.
Sombra back left. Sombra looking for hacks.
Sombra's one.
Sombra on point.
Okay, pretty decent comms. I'd like you to recognize when the fight's won so you can ult plan a little bit faster. Cause like there was long stretches where you guys like had the point, you guys won the fight, but you guys kind of just sat on point, didn't really plan much.
If
Or you pushed up a little bit, but you didn't really plan much.
Yeah, like when you were clearing me off the point, it was just me on the point. You could easily just be like, we're on card. Alright, and then now you start all planning because it's just me stalling the card.
It's like your brains are off. I mean, like it's not like brains are off. Your brains don't need to be aiming because there's just one guy on card. You're all just AFK aiming, right? At that point, you just use your brain power for
planning.
For planning next fight.
What was your I mean, I know I got some okays when I said let's just hug that wall and stand at point and fight from low ground. I think that's unique to that Bastion situation because in order to shoot down, he has to be visible from the low ground. So like, was that a good enough call, or should I avoid it?
That was a smart call, because you recognize like one of them had to touch, and they can't when they can't do it safely.
Right. Okay. I mean, obviously you're only
it kind
4.
of forced us to
I
put a second
understand
on there on purpose.
Right. Okay. Cool. I just didn't know if it would be applicable with like a 6, like in a 6v6, because they'd have more resources.
In a 6v6, they wouldn't be running a trash comp like that. But in that situation, that was the right call, because you know, like you have to force them to touch point at some point.
Right.
Let's see. Wait. Somebody give me a map.
Nipple.
Fucking Scrims row.
I still stand by Junkertown.
Okay, we'll do it.
Dorado.
Where the hell is Junkertown? There it is.
Gosh.
Welcome to Junkertown.
Make sure you're planning every fight before you really initiate. You can be scouting and going in a little bit just because you need to get the information before you finish off your plan, but you could say, oh, if they have this, we could do this. If they have that, we do that. And if they have none of that, shit hits the fan and we just kind of do something.
So I guess the first high ground you want to take is that one they always fucking set Bastions up on.
Group up with me.
Yeah. So if they're on high ground where you're at now, Fermi, we're gonna push payload using it as cover to about this bridge that I'm under right now, and then we're gonna try to take the high ground from them. If they're not on high ground and they're fighting from choke down here, what's that?
Wait a second.
I was very confused why I hit somebody on the floor there.
Hey guys, lucky damage.
No, it's okay. If they're not on high ground, we'll push payload just slightly further to that corner, and fight from the corners.
Okay.
Roger.
Nothing fancy.
I want you to plan everything. Pretend like we have ult every time, and unless we use it the next. Yeah, no, just plan like we have ult every time. Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Hey.
Let's shoot for a new high score.
Form up.
Sombra, do you want to go around the left side here? Just do the quick scout call, and then rejoin us, circle around, and join us at the payload.
Sounds like a plan.
Hell yeah.
Or take whatever damn route you want. I'm not gonna. I shouldn't micromanage that. Sorry.
They can spam right.
Just do the scout for us.
I make this look good.
They have a Lucio. I hear things.
Party mode engaged. It's on. I'm working. Attackers incoming.
They're close
Okay,
left.
they're all choked.
Close left, close left.
Kill Urban.
D.Va sag, D.Va sag.
Focus monkey.
We get the monkey.
Focus D.Va.
Monkey.
Focus the monkey. Focus the monkey.
Just act again. Monkey.
Yeah. Ring the ball, ring the ball, ring the ball. Monkey.
Monkey,
Monkey no jump.
Lucio.
Push the monkey. Now D.Va.
You're code.
Kai.
D.Va sag, D.Va sag.
Run the corner. Lucio on cart.
Play corner. Play this corner I'm at.
Hey, this is
Lucio low on
get
cart.
Lucio
Lucio
off
low on cart.
Let's get the Lucio off cart. Right now, push on D.Va.
Fight's won. You guys are chasing.
Moira no fade.
Alright, what's the plan? All plan, all track. All plan, all track.
We're gonna have bomb and monkey all year.
They're running back, they're running back.
Bob? Full track.
No cart or no co.
Yeah, they're gonna have bomb and fucking should be close to it.
Okay, start this fight with well, they should have Cole, or no, they did use Cole, right?
I have co.
Alright, use Cole. Start. They just used it, so we should start from Cole.
Monkey.
Recover. Monkey.
D.Va sag, D.Va sag.
Focus the monkey.
Monkey.
Go for the bomb. No, I'm not.
D.Va has ult, D.Va has ult, D.Va has ult.
Okay.
Line of sight.
Bubble. We're still in Winston?
Yeah, still on monkey.
You ready
Keep
for
blasting
EMP?
them, it's
Ready for
winnable.
EMP?
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright, let's back. We're done. We lost.
Okay.
Last fight? Yeah.
Yeah, they have beaten Cole here.
Just back to this corner is fine.
We chase.
Keep backing up.
Chase, we chase the fuckers!
Right bubble.
Ults by the way, hello? Ults.
Already said they have
I'm
beaten
sag
Cole.
Moira.
Gosh,
Alright.
no one listen.
Moira does not have ult.
Hey, Ian, when you're ready for Wraith or for Blossom, call for EMP.
Start pushing up.
I have Blossom too.
Yeah,
Let me know
but when
this,
you're in
let me know.
position for Blossom,
They're
I'm
above,
gonna
they're above.
Like, hey,
Yeah, we're
High
ready.
ground.
There it is. Get it.
Monkey.
guys. D.Va.
D.Va sag, D.Va sag.
D.Va before she bombs. Now baby D.Va.
D.Va and Lucio on payload. Lucio around back. Lucio.
Lucio sag.
Baby D.Va's in front of payload.
Fight 1. Full
Yeah,
track.
they're gonna have Cole here, and that should be it. Honestly, at this point, maybe another bomb.
Welcome to Junkertown.
We'll
What do you see?
Did you call?
We should sage.
since they don't have EMP, I mean, we could just start with beat, but we have beat Cole. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
you could say honestly, stay beat for Diva Bomb and just start with Cole.
Fucking monkeys above
They're
us.
on the
Monkeys
staircase
above
on their
us. Monkeys above
side.
us.
Diva Moira, Lucio.
Diva
Winston's missing.
Diva Reaper. Oh,
Take the high ground. Take the high ground. Take the high ground.
Monkey missed jump, monkey missed jump, no bubble.
Winston tag, Winston tag.
Going.
Okay, back.
Again, beat. They don't have EMP, so beat for Diva Bombs.
Lucio's low.
Alright, we lost our main. We should get out.
Back up.
Alright, fight lost.
Yeah, all Diva Bombs are a beat. There's no reason. There's nothing else to save it for.
Yep, I got you, dude.
Where are we going? Which way we passing?
Oh, sorry, I'm up top.
They're all on the high ground. Looking out the window.
Yeah.
Taking high.
Where do you
Close
guys
high
take a
ground.
You can run.
And let's go.
Moira attacked in the
Clear
back.
the high
Moira
ground.
attacked in the back.
Focus the monkey.
Lucio,
Focus the monkey.
we got Moira here.
More.
There we go.
Way down.
Lucio on the
Lucio
open.
attack, Lucio attack. Lucio dies.
Break the bubble.
Monkey's one. Now Diva.
Diva on cart.
Alright.
Stage.
Be
Lucio
Diva
turning it
Reaper.
out.
Be
Sorry,
Diva
turning it
Reaper
out.
up front.
Lucio has ult.
Diva, can you get to me?
They have Cole here as well.
Hello.
We
Diva
have
Reaper down here.
we have hack Reaper plus.
Moira's top left, but they're not all here yet. We'll fight here.
Let me know when you're good, Day.
Winston attack, Winston attack.
I'm in
We
position.
have cart.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Peel back a little bit. Peel back. We got the point. Let's wait. Let's regroup with our team.
Kill
Alright,
Urban
we have
there.
EMP. What do we combine it with?
Yep.
EMP
would do
blocker.
Blossom.
Goes at
Blocking fire.
60.
Because monkey's pushed up.
Blossom.
Alright,
I'll
push
let
up
you
to
know when.
point next to Mini. Or Mega, whatever this is.
Alright, I'm in position.
Do it.
Bubble. There we go.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Diva underneath. Diva out of mech.
Pushing
Shield
at
on
Moira.
Lucio side.
Push more.
Or
We focus
go, buddy.
Heals on cart, heals on cart. Lucio on cart, Lucio on cart. Above cart, above cart.
Lucio has ult.
I'm too far away for that shit.
It's okay. We're back on cart. Are we?
Okay, so they have beat. They have fucking.
Why is there 6 on
yeah,
cart?
beat,
Take the next point.
Call
Take
bomb.
space.
beat and monkey all here.
Break the bubble. Nice. Winston, Winston.
I'm throwing a bomb.
Recode,
Outside,
recode,
outside.
recode.
All right,
They beat.
wait. When beat wears off, use bomb. All right, now.
Winston ulted.
Yeah.
Winston sacked.
Lucio in the back line.
Ulted
Lucio on
behind and
cart.
he's sacked.
We're focusing.
Lucio
We're on
low.
three
Lucio
different
low.
targets.
Diva. Bubble.
Monkey's one.
Lucio sacked. Lucio sacked.
Monkey's one behind.
They're gonna have
Monkey down, monkey down.
Let's
Lucio one.
go.
Diva.
Calling. Use the corners. Good job. Baby Diva.
Lucio sacked. Lucio sacked. Behind right. On small.
Gotta get the Diva.
Beat Diva.
Diva down. Diva automatic.
Lucio dies.
Lucio.
Moira right.
Mori.
Hammond down point.
Mori down.
Ham and hack.
Ball.
Good job.
Alright, a little better. As we do the next few scrims, if I'm there, I will be calling to do a specific part of the comms so that we can actually plan things properly. I think we're starting to get the hang of it. I want to hear like specifically, let's go all high ground, all low ground, left to right, top bottom, all that fun stuff. Okay.
Yeah. That's my bad. Sometimes I'm used to just being followed. So like if I'm staged up there, I don't say it, which is dumb because obviously not everyone's
if you're already up there and you didn't call it, that means you aren't using your brain.
Right, I know. That's why I'm saying I self-own in that one because I did not. That happened once, at least.
Make sure you're at least thinking about Lucio when you're going for your EMPs. One of them you got lucky and it clipped me, but the other ones you didn't even like bother, like saying, "Okay, we're gonna focus this person. I can't find Lucio," or you didn't even like pay attention to my existence if I was there or not.
Right. Okay. Do you guys feel somewhat comfortable with this comp, at least to start off with, or do you guys think you need more learning before you actually start playing it in scrim?
I mean, not learning, but practice.
Practice?
Yeah, I think hands-on would be nice. Just playing it as.
Okay, good.
I'm comfortable with the comp, but I think practice with the team on the comp because like when I feel for other teams, we play this comp, but as a team, as us, I don't think we're comfortable enough with each other just yet.
Definitely.
If that makes sense.
Oh, more trust falls.
What do you mean by needs to be more comfortable? Everybody needs to be on the same page. Like we need to call a
Yeah. Like we need to have more of a plan and more of a consistency, if that makes sense.
That'd be correct. Right. Before you guys even like actually commit, you would need to have said the entire plan. And you can always change the plan mid-fight if you think it's needed.
So just a small question, but today being Monday, Wednesday being a scrim that's streamed, are we scrimming tomorrow? Like,
do you guys want to? Do we
Hell yeah, we want to scrim.
Yeah, Saturday is my daughter's birthday, so hopefully
can't
we
do
can
Saturday.
get a bunch of scrims during the
I
week.
can't do Saturday, Sunday, or Monday of this next week.
Hey, perfect.
Okay, perfect.
And Tuesday it is.
Okay, so we want Tuesday and Wednesday for this week?
Yeah, is Wednesday actually 9 to 11?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that like that time is.
Yes, Wednesday's
correct.
9 to 11 p.m. Tomorrow, can we shoot for 8 to 10?
Yeah, that works.
I'll be with main team tomorrow.
Okay. So do we have 6?
Yeah, well,
we should.
We have both
Cash
supporters, we have me
Day,
and Snaz.
Fermi, Yago, Snaz, and wait, where's Red?
Meep it would be flex.
It's Rafiki right now.
Rafiki?
In the name
I
change
see.
process.
I could be there too.
Yeah, Meepit will be here too. He's flex.
Wait, Meepit's here tomorrow?
Is he not?
No, he's out this week.
Yeah, I think he has no on the schedule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's out this whole week, which is why we have our 2 DPS in the whole time.
You can have 2 off tanks tomorrow if you want.
Okay, so here's in the past, I don't like having the ringers or like the support. I mean, the sub player to like be in and out every map. I want to give you guys at least 1 hour block. So either choose 1 hour to in between yourselves, like say, oh, I prefer to do first or second hour, and then if you can work it out, then it's good. Tell one of us.
Me.
Say what?
I was gonna talk to Fermi.
Yeah. And if you guys both want playtime, just let me know, and I'll try to figure something out that both of you like. I'm used to having a set 6-man starter roster, and then one guy who has like 1 hour of time during the week when we had only like 2 or 3 hours in. But I know we want to get everybody up to the same level at the same time. So we're gonna have to be rotating it in and out. I don't like the idea. I might recommend that one of you ring on the days that you can't play, so that at least you have the play time. Might not be with the team, but at least you're getting some play time, so you can actually practice the things that you need to practice. Make sense?
The law for the DPS positions, and based off how the meta is going, are we able to keep rotating us through, like the 3 of us?
This week we're going to be doing hit scan, double hit scan, both day and Casher will be playing all week. When Meep gets back, I'll have to figure something out. Because I'm not sure which one he likes to play more.
Sombra.
Sombra? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, okay, by that time, I want you both to figure out which ones you like more. That we might be able to get consistent rotation in and out. Make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Cool. Okay, so I'll tell him to get us a scrim tomorrow 8 to 10.
I will not be able to be there, so you know.
Okay, I will have to be there. Sounds good.
How about you watch us take this shit to Quick Play Pound Town and let us know how we do.
I need a break.
I have a block I have to get to.
Yeah.
I've got some lasagna in the oven.
Some bath time for the kid.
Look at all these real world excuses.
Lasagna is a very real excuse.
I will say this went really well, and trust me when I say this, the main team has never done anything like this. Naz can attest to that as well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, teams don't do this, and it's actually why they're bad. No, it is 100% why they're bad, because like, they get VOD reviewed, and then they'd say, oh, this is what you're supposed to do, but they don't actually know what the hell they're supposed to be doing in the first place. And so like it's just a shit show. This is this is the way that we're gonna be learning from now on. You learn the whole team comp first, and then you go play it.
Fucking perfect, honestly.
I like it.
Yes.
Fucking, I love it.
All right, I have to go make my other block, so I'll see you guys later.
Thank you for
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you for stopping by, Kenyo.
Good night, gamers.
Good night, everybody.
Right, you free to go. Have fun.
I remain here.
Would anybody like to play a little bit?
What's your rank?
Damn.
Well, comp, we're not the same rank.
Well, I mean, I got some Smurfs. I got Smurfs all over the place.
I'm in the high plat, low diamond.
I got a Smurf high plat, I think.